Welcome to the Temple Talk podcast, a space where we hope you're able to calm decondition yourself, a space where we hope to teach you and remind you of how you truly are pure divine consciousness, what it means, what it is, and how to be your fullest, most powerful self.
Welcome to the Temple Talk. Welcome to this sacred space. We hope that you find exactly what it is that you need to deepen your awareness, your consciousness, to tap into your womb magic, your femininity, and creating space in a new community built on true sisterhood, a conversation with two priestesses to seek guidance, love, and abundance.
Temple Talk is truly a space where we not only want to give you a theory, we want to give you practical steps to be, to become, to heal, to learn about yourself, to understand energy, to understand how to work with spirit, to understand your own spirit and the spirits that surround you, that work with you, that are always there. This is a space of truly understanding the depths, the colors, the tastes, the full expression of who you are as a conscious being. And in today's episode, we will be talking about Cancer season, the energy of Cancer season, how to work with Cancer season, how that energy affects us, shapes us, and most importantly, how can you work with this energy and make sure you harness and channel this time for your advancement, for your empowerment, for the co-creation of your life, instead of falling victim to reactionary times. And it is a joy to be here with you as many times as you decide to come to these Temple Talks.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sydney, and I am a womb practitioner, and some may say a priestess to the divine feminine. My work entails working with women in terms of healing their bodies, physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, diving deep and holding space for healing their wounds and sexual traumas. Overall, it is working with the divine feminine and reconnecting with ourselves and also our divine feminine energy that is within all of us.
And I'm Daniela. I'm a spiritualist and a priestess to many. My vocation in life is to connect consciousness, is to awaken consciousness and to make others be completely aware of who they truly are, of how capable, powerful we truly are, and the capacity that we have to co-create a life that we are fulfilled by, a life that we love, a life that you will enjoy. So let's talk about Cancer season.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful season to explore your inner worlds. As women, this is a beautiful season to mother ourselves. Cancer energy is the mother archetype. This is a beautiful season to go into our inner world, our emotional inner world. Cancer is a water sign. Water is our emotions, it represents our emotions, it represents the inner psyche, the rivers of consciousness that we are as expressions of the divine, because that's what each and every single one of us is. We are the divine. We are consciousness itself. We are creation itself, manifested in a physical form. And this is why I am a lover of the cosmos. I'm a lover of the stars, of the planets, of the skies, of our luminaries, the sun, the moon. Because they're reflections of our energy, they're reflections of who we are. Just like we are reflections of them. Being able to understand their energies is being able to understand the language that our own consciousness speaks. So when we bring it down to Cancer season, right now there is this invitation. There's a part within us in our consciousness that is much more open. Our emotions are going to be much more open. Our emotions are going to be much more vocal. Cancer is all about that inner emotional world. And in an evolved expression, Cancer can be very nurturing, very loving, very intuitive, truly wise at an emotional level. But at an unevolved expression, Cancer can be manipulative, heavily so, if I may say so. Obsessive, emotionally unavailable, or emotionally numb. So, this is a great opportunity to observe yourself and observe your inner world, to understand it, to tap into it. As a water sign, Cancer is connected to the element of water. So working with water in this season is very important. You have to look at what season we are in, and being able to understand that will allow you to understand the energy around you, what's available and what's not available. And then know how to work with it. How to work with it in a way that is natural to you. Because you yourself also need to understand what is your inclination, connection, and relationship with water and with any other element, air, earth, fire, and how can you work with those energies, with those spirits, which are a reflection of you and your inner world, who you are, and vice versa.
Yeah. And not only do we have Cancer season, but we also have the summer solstice. And that is so abundant. So we're moving from the spring solstice. So everything was coming back to life very gently. We got a little bit of rain. We got a little bit of snow still. If you're, from where I'm from, the weather it's like this. But we're now entering into a very abundant time of the summer solstice. So many things happen astrologically as well as internally for women, for feminine beings, because we ourselves go through each cycle of summer, fall, winter, spring ourselves. And so it can be very, 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 very harmonious if you are in tune with yourself and very balanced with your feminine energy and connected to your intuition. You're able to consciously track your menstrual, your follicular, your ovulation, and your luteal phases. Your inner summer is reflected in the ovulation stage. And that's where, the egg is released from your uterus, goes all the way down, goes through that scientific process. But the metaphysical, that esoteric, the blood mysteries, the feminine mysteries of your cycle is that for us as women, as feminine beings, we are so connected to nature. Everything works in a cycle. And from the beginning of time, everything was tracked by the woman's cycle. So for us, this is an abundant time to tap into your subconscious. This is an abundant time and a prosperous time to reconnect with your intuition, to reconnect with your womb, and to begin the process of healing within and so externally. Because if you think about it, if you're looking to manifest some big projects, some big money, some great love, some summer romance, you have to be ready and willing to sacrifice during this season mindsets and blockages that would keep you from being able to obtain that. As above, so below. As within, so without. So everything starts in the age of Aquarius within the mental, the revolutionary, the ones that shatter and completely destroy old belief systems that no longer work. And so if you're here, you're probably also looking to broaden and awaken and to elevate your consciousness, your vibrational frequency. To be able to do that, you have to first start within. This begins in the subconscious. And that's why Cancer season is so important, especially for feminine bodies, women especially. So when you first begin, you have to first analyze yourself. Where am I mentally? Where am I emotionally at this time? What do I allow in my relationships that do not allow for me to feel fulfilled? And where do those things come from? Where do those ideas of why I feel so low in myself, why I don't feel fulfilled at this time? All of that comes from intimate womb healing and broadening and opening yourself to a higher consciousness.
AKA, do the shadow work. Do it. It's a must. It's a must. You cannot fully understand who you are, what you're capable of, if you don't have clarity. And when you're hurt, when you're in pain, when you see the world through the lens of previous experiences that were painful, that were scary, that were hurtful, when you don't remove that lens, you're going to see your life through that lens every single time. In Cancer season, a water season, is one of those seasons where your subconscious mind is much more susceptible to speak out loud. When we go looking within, in this season, we're much more likely to know what's going on, to hear our inner voice, to connect with ourselves. So don't waste this window of opportunity. Take it. Take it to be able to understand what hurts, what motivates you, what limits you, what unleashes your power. Who are you? What do you truly desire? Because you do know, if you are at a point in life where you feel that you don't know what you want, you don't know what you like, you don't know what to do next, that's the biggest and loudest sign that you're disconnected from yourself. And you're disconnected from yourself because of wounds, because of traumas, because of past experiences, moments in time, situations with others that have fractured a part in you, thus forgetting who you are and being of love and essence of creation and expression of the universe, and as such, limitless in possibilities and capacity. The moment you understand your pains, your shadows, and understand the light that is in your shadows, because that's the other thing with shadow work. Shadow work is very powerful because shadow work shows you the power and transformation that lays within your hardest parts, within your ugliest parts, within your heaviest parts, within your most hurtful parts.
So again, it starts right there in the mind, it starts right there in the emotional state that your body is in, that your womb is holding. And Cancer season can probably provoke a lot of people to, yes, speak out intensely about the rage, the abuse, the sadness, the anger, the frustration, the unfulfillment that they've received in their life from their partners, from their mothers, from their fathers, from their parental figures, from their life, from themselves. And that comes from the experiences that are bitter in nature. And I think we look at the word bitter as, oh, she's bitter because she's gone through this, that, and the third. And while bitterness has been seen in such a negative light, there's actually a key component, a herbal concoction a remedy to use bitterness within the season of Cancer. So I've learned this through Chinese medicine, is that the bitter flavor is said to enter the heart meridian and clear heat. As heat rises in the body and the heart is very often harassed by excessive heat, producing symptoms such as mania and insomnia, bitter foods are said to dry, damp, and disperse obstruction. Bitter also clears heat. I've personally started my own cacao ceremonies and rituals. I set the intention that I wanted to clear a lot of my heart chakra because that's where I work from when I work with women seeking healing, womb healing at that specifically. Cacao itself is very, very bitter. And if you get the correct ceremonial grade of it, I've seen in some instructions to where you can use a sweetener. I, however, did not. I don't want to sweeten anything about this experience. I want to feel and be honest with some or with all of my trauma, all of my wounds, and hold sacred space for myself and hold sacred compassion, self-compassion for myself. So it confuses me sometimes when I'm on TikTok or TikTok. It confuses me when I see these cacao ceremonies held by these random people who call themselves spiritualists. And we'll get into that on a much later episode. But I've seen these experiences to where they enjoy cacao as if it's already been sweetened. And that for me is a falsehood because it does not accurately represent the true bitterness that happens in events in our lives that shifts and changes us. And I wanted that. I wanted that experience.
And that is the lesson within cacao itself, the spirit of cacao. Pure cacao is bitter. It has a strong presence. And it's such a deep, powerful heart opener. In our indigenous cultures, cacao is a heart opener. That's how we know the spirit. Sacred cacao is used throughout Latin America by different indigenous cultures, with the same knowing of the spirit of cacao being a teacher for our heart space, being a beautiful guide in our healing journeys. And it's important to be able to receive that lesson of bitterness because it translates to our life. It's very easy to see the difficult moments as problems, as injustice and unfairness. And granted, some things are unjust and unfair. Absolutely. The concept does exist. But most often than times, difficult moments has the potential to pivot you to better. But we have to get out of the way of always clinging to being a victim, to suffering, and allowing ourselves to, yes, feel the discomfort, accept the discomfort, accept that we don't like it, accept that we might consider it unfair or unjust, and then go find the lesson. Because it's there. Bitterness, chaos, problems, failures always come with an opportunity. Every single one of them. Find it. That is not to say that it's easy, because it's not. But it becomes an awful lot easy the moment that you do know yourself and act accordingly.
Now, there are many different ways that you can tap into your heart chakra, your emotions, yourself, your being. You don't have to go down just the cacao way. That's just mine personally. But at least making the step, the effort to do so is powerful within itself. And we do this by a holistic approach. We use the earth, we use the elements: water, air, fire, earth. Each herb that you bring in to work with has a correspondence with a specific part of nature. And when working with the herbs, you work with intention for yourself. How do you want to evolve? How do you want to better? How do you want to open yourself back up to your emotions, your state of being present? How do you tap into your femininity? And it's so amazing that Cancer season opens us back up. It's like a floodgate. As soon as you open them doors, the floodgate just comes in. So Cancer season deals with the subconscious, right? So you would subconsciously start to deal with behaviors and addictions that you may have: an addiction to food, an addiction to alcohol. You first dive there and you figure out where those needs, that stress is triggered. And let me remind you, beloveds, that as you start to go down this path of healing, you accept that you're going to be triggered. As you begin to open yourself consciously and start to become aware of the behaviors that shaped you from points of view that were from trauma, that were from hurt, as you begin to decolonize your mind and your belief systems, accept that you will be triggered. It is a part of the process. And each trigger that you have should not be blamed, and you should not devalue yourself when you are triggered. It is to help you grow. It is to help you evolve. It is to help you start to see where those addictions, those behaviors, those core belief systems that you have, it shows you where they come from. And as you return back into your divine feminine, you'll see the aspects of the wounded feminine and the healing feminine. Wounded feminine energy looks like instability, lack of trust, lack of self-worth, lack of self-value. You compromise your values and your morals to please others. Those are just a few examples. And the healed feminine, or the healing feminine, embodies aspects of self-trust, self-knowing. You know that your intuition can be trusted fully because it is a part of you. It is connected to source. It is connected to the divine feminine source, if you want to look at it that way. A healed or healing feminine walks in her grace, her essence, her mysteries proudly. She acknowledges her triggers, her shadows, but she doesn't allow for it to destroy her. Instead, she transmutes that energy. And again, that goes back into the mental magic in the age of Aquarius. Revolutionary, breaking boundaries, breaking belief systems, breaking core systems that no longer serve you. You have to be ready to purify, detoxify, and cleanse yourself within this season using the element of water. Water is deeply feminine. She walks in her prowess. She invokes and demands respect and nothing less of that. And society will do whatever that it can to punish you for existing in that manner. And this is why sacred community is so important. Sacred sisterhood is so important during this time in this phase. And know, beloved, that at this time that you are supported, that you are loved. And we got you.
The reason why manifestation does not work when you think of it as do this method or do that method or do this ritual is because the methods and the rituals are only there to get you into a specific state. But if you have beliefs that do not allow you to be in a specific state of being, in a specific expression of your consciousness, in a specific belief, in a specific feeling, you'll never be able to feel, to be that creation. This is why shadow work is important. Because shadow work allows you to understand the things that are in the way of you knowing you are divine creation. You are divine consciousness, and being able to exercise every single ability to create that divine consciousness has, that you have. Make a spiritual bath, work with herbs. Look at where you have Cancer in your astrological birth chart, because that will tell you also how this energy will heavily be shown in your life, and as such, the opportunities for growth and expansion that you have within your life. But even if you don't have your birth chart, you don't know how to get your birth chart, you don't know how to do your birth chart, work with water. Just look at the season we're in, Cancer season. Cancer is connected to the element of water. Work with water. Work with your emotions. Prepare a bath for yourself. Bring your emotions from that inner world, from that subconscious, into this present reality. Through writing. Through speaking to yourself in the mirror. To speaking to yourself out loud. Dig. Question. You would be surprised and positively shocked at the answers you get when you ask yourself questions. The moment you get into the habit of asking yourself questions and daring to be honest is the moment that you truly start to see how you create, what you've been creating, what you've been in. You start realizing that there's no such thing as I don't know. You know. That knowing is just under layers and layers of conditioning, of trauma or fear, of anxieties, of expectations, of mom and dad, of my sisters, of my brothers, of my family, of them, of what would they think, what will they say. So dismantle that and use water in this season to do that. If you don't have a bathtub, get in the shower. Ask the water to help you go into your inner heart. Ask the water to heal you. And now, the moment we ask a spirit, an element, an expression of consciousness, such as an element like water, to heal us, that doesn't mean that they do the work. It means that they aid us. It means that an expression of consciousness has been almost activated to help you understand, to work with you. Key words, to work with you. You need to do the work. You need to be the one asking for help. You need to be the one digging within you. You need to be the one asking yourself questions. You need to be the one willing to answer genuinely and honestly. And if you need guidance and support for that, work with someone. But understand that no one can give you the answers to your life. You have them. And you have them better than anyone else could. Because your soul knows, your consciousness knows, your inner being, your consciousness, when it's expressed from light, from love, from confidence, knows. When it's expressed from shadow, yeah, that's when we're all over the place. So work with water and go in, go deep, transform, transmute, and be reborn to become who you are, the full breath of consciousness. And this is all for today's Temple Talk episode.
We thank you for sharing sacred space with us, and we send you off with love, with gratitude, and deep affirmations of compassion for yourself.
Temple Talk out. See you next time.